Him and Tyler Perry can't play a man to save their life. They play good women, and I believe that the best actor should be in the best role.
I don't know, Katt. We might not let you drink anymore the way I mean, we ain't even got.
I'm not fueled by alcohol. I've had a sip.
We're getting on there.
Right.
After that, I don't really kind of know where to go. Let me, one more time.
Welcome to my channel. This is Jet speaking. This is Logical MOG. We talk about a lot of topics, man, and we delve into the mentality, the philosophy, the psychology, and the overall perspective of a situation, things we can learn from them, etc. And I think this right here is one of the best to start the year. Happy New Year, by the way. This is one of the best things to start the year to get us on the right path of understanding introspection wise mentalities, because this was a nuke, a media nuke out of nowhere, and we all know what we're talking about. You know why you clicked on this thumbnail, if you even got this content recommended to you, etc. We're talking about Katt Williams, all right, and his unique perspective on the situation that he was dealt and his overall comedy career, and the things that he was talking about, the topics, etc., why they were what they were. I want to talk about it, right? We're talking again about the things we can learn from it, the ideas and the reasons why he was attacking the people he was attacking. We're going to get into all that, trust me. But overall, man, I appreciate you and I thank you. And let's get into the video, man. Let's get into the content. I believe it's extremely important for us to identify what we're talking about today. And we all know why we're here. We're here because of this. The interview. The interview that shocked everybody who was anybody who had any type of understanding of what was going on. This was it, right? And I believe when we watched the interview, it was very captivating. Everybody who saw it knew it was captivating. The shit they was talking about, the things they was discussing, how they were discussing it, it was very captivating, to the point where it was a 3-hour segment, 3-hour video, and you couldn't put it down. When I watched it live before it even hit 1 million, and I was just wondering, I watched Shannon shop. I was just wondering, like, dang, why Shannon shop got 100,000 people watching this content right now? Last time I saw 100,000 people watch content, it was online, at least streaming wise, was when I watched Deion Sanders go on that, Colorado was on that winning streak in the beginning of the season, and you couldn't change the channel without Deion being mentioned, right? So immediately I'm like, what's going on? And I saw Katt Williams. I knew immediately I had to click. I clicked, and it didn't disappoint, right? So we all know the number one reason. The number one reason, man. Katt Williams' epic interview. It went to 10 million in one day. I knew when I saw the interview, I was like, man, this is going to 10 million in one day. This is quite impressive. Quite impressive. And we're gonna look at some clips of the overall situation, right? I want to look at some clips of the interaction between him and Katt Williams, Shannon Sharpe and Katt Williams, on Club Shay. I want to look at that interview as he talks about the different topics. In particular, we're going to not break them down. We're just going to look at them, commentary a little bit here and there. But overall, we're going to see what made the interview what it was, as we also delve into other aspects. And mind you, the commentary on this is going to be a standpoint of what can we learn from this because it was more so about learning something. What did you take away when you saw this content? What did you see? What did you experience when you saw the content? That's what content is basically for. You're there to absorb information in some way, shape, or form, right? So let's go and do that. Let's check it out, and we're gonna see what that's about, man. Let's get into that.
Why it resonates, and the reason I had to come is because you've made a safe place for the truth to be told. You know what I mean?
Thank you. I appreciate
and
that.
I have watched all of these lowbrow comedians come here and disrespect you in your face.
So already, fair use, fair use. We're just making sure that you understand. He's about to explain his reasoning behind his mentality behind even agreeing to the interview, by and large, right? Which I think is an important thing because you got to understand the mentality. He's coming to expose lies. That's what he came to do. He came to expose lies.
And tell you straight up lies. I'm talking about things that have never been heard in all of Black Hollywood. They feel comfortable sitting here lying to you about it.
You gonna set the record straight?
Are you kidding me? You let Ricky Smiley sit here and you said out that mouth, you stole Friday After Next, the one I was in. I wish all of America fumbled a bit when that happened.
He's there to set the record straight, right? Fair use again, just to make sure we don't get any trouble. Excuse my commentary for right now, right?
And then he said some stuff that we haven't heard in 100 years in Hollywood. You ain't say nothing. This man told you he had Katt Williams' role. He was gonna be Money Mike.
Wait.
And Katt Williams was gonna be the Santa Claus. Now three quick points. You mean in Hollywood they cast a 5'5" black Santa Claus that weigh 145 pounds? That's your story.
And basically, keep it simple. He's saying lies get exposed because of lack of truth. That don't even sound reasonable what Ricky Smiley said. Am I against him or I don't agree or disagree with neither one of the parties. I'm neutral. That's between them. That's their beef. That's their personal situation that they gotta, obviously hash out, as you can see here. All right. That has nothing to do with myself, you included. Like you get your perspective and your opinion from it, but ultimately it's between the two parties that's most involved.
Your story is the Ricky Smiley that couldn't even do curse words because he had a Christian fan base.
Logic beats everything. He has a Christian fan base. I don't necessarily, even though my channel is called Logical Man of God, I am not a quote unquote typical Christian. Like I don't subscribe to the fact that you believe that you're not going to go to heaven because you said fuck. All right, that to me is childish. The same God that wiped out millions of people with a flood, you think he not going to allow you to get into heaven because you said a word? God is a spirit. He understands spirit, right? There's a difference between me saying like I'm cursing at an individual and me cursing in general, as in I don't even know why they call it cursing anymore. Like explicitive language, stuff like that. Explicit language, you know what I'm talking about.
He was going to play the pimp. Why you didn't ask him why has he played a woman in more movies than he's played a man?
Well, I didn't know
he shouldn't be able. You wouldn't let a athlete that been on steroids talk about one of the greats. Ricky Smiley can't act because Ricky Smiley can't act. He told you the story about when the movie came out. Where did he say he watched it?
And you notice he's pregnant. He has a vivid. When you speak in truths, conviction is necessary. You're going to have conviction when you're speaking in such truths because there's really nothing that's holding you back from being like, okay, like, he's telling the truth, bro. Just from this little, he's telling the truth, at least his truth. I mean, we can't say because he has such conviction in it. It's almost undeniable that you can see what it is. Plus the logic with the conviction.
At home, he wasn't even at the premiere. You telling this man, you stole that. Oh, so he could get his name in the same sentence with a great one. It is sad. He was just that bitter when we were shooting it. He told everybody, it should have been my role. Everybody on the scene. Why do you think no cast member has ever said anything?
He couldn't have played that role like you. I thought he was...
Sir, no one... Why no...
He's noticing again. He's saying nobody said anything since or then. Only person speaking is you know who. Ultimately, though, this is showcasing again the reason this interview went to 10 million views in one day was not only the fact that it was Katt and Shannon, but it's the conversation they were having was one we have never seen, or really in public at least. These are conversations you would have with your friend on the side, conspiracy theory type of, but it's no longer conspiracy, right? When you have the facts to back up, especially people in these people's positions in these particular fields, he knows what's going on behind the scenes, right? So he can easily say, hey man, fuck that shit did not happen, bruh, right? And this is why I say again, we gotta grow up. I'm gonna talk about that in other videos, not in this video in particular, but we gotta grow up on our concept of what God. You think God, the man that made people, took kids away in Egypt? You know, I'm not gonna say the word because you know how YouTube work. You think he don't want you to say fuck? Come on, man. You gotta grow up, man. Stop being cookie cutter. This shit is not a game. What's about to happen out here, man? And this is my point. A lot of y'all, we live in a soft generation right now, where we can't even have these type of conversations because dudes is soft. Grow the fuck up, man. All right? You're a grown ass man. You're a grown ass woman. Grow the fuck up, man. All right? People really, when you see how people look when they really get mangled, when they really get messed up, you start understanding this not about no damn word, right? It's about spirit, energy, right? Your relationship with the Most High, etc. Right? We're not gonna get on all that, but that's the point. Cut the bullshit, man.
He was with KD. He beat up Terry Crews. Why nobody know this story? You talking about in Hollywood, they switched off roles. You take this and he, what?
So
Ricky Smiley knows this. It's because, well, why would he lie? I don't know why liars lie, but I can tell you this. We auditioned in Los Angeles.
Yes.
I was audition number 201. 200 black comedians auditioned for the role of Money Mike with.
He's showing you I put in work, man. And like he said, why do liars lie? That's not for me really to decide. That's not for me to figure out. That's for, we don't know why they lie because there's a multitude of reasons. Maybe they have there's something wrong with the individual from a mentality and personality standpoint where they don't want to be exposed or they don't want something out for them, right? Everybody has their reasons of why they don't want certain things to go a certain way. So it's no different in this situation.
Me. You're saying all 201 of us was auditioning and you had already had the role and had already shot the role in 4 days? The truth of the matter is, the Money Mike in the original script got raped in the bathroom.
I'm gonna leave it there though, because he's starting to he talking about, you know, the R word. You know how YouTube is when it comes to the R word. But with that being said, you get the gist. The boy knew immediately, hey, I'm not getting caught up in anything. I'm here to tell the truth. And that was the ultimate theme of the whole interview, was a truth expose. Right? He was there to expose people who you may have not thought of in a certain light, etc. And we're gonna move forward and we're gonna find out who those people were in particular. So let's talk about that. Who were the people that he wanted to expose? As you saw, he was talking about Ricky Smiley. He definitely wanted to get that straight because he really felt some type of way. That was definitely on his hierarchy list. But what I'm gonna do is I'm going to talk about the people he didn't even mention. Well, not that he didn't mention. We're gonna highlight them, right? And we're gonna see what he said about each and every one of them as we highlight them on the pad, right? And what is that? Who are the people he talked about in the subsequent series? These people right here, right? These are the people who he had the biggest things to say about, that really shook the world when it came to the Hollywood stuff. Scorched the earth on Hollywood gatekeepers. I'm not saying they're gatekeepers. He's saying they're gatekeepers. And ultimately, do I think that is the case? I'm gonna hold my opinion, my personal opinion, for another day, another conversation. My stand stands for what it is. You know what that means. So ultimately, though, with these people being who they are, Everything you see me doing right now, I do by myself. Help a brother out. Hit that subscribe button, that like button as well. As we continue looking at this critical, this is 2024. This is one of the biggest interviews in a long time, right? But we're gonna look into who he was talking to, why he was talking to them about that.
So why would he say it?
Because he's a liar. Nobody knows why liars lie. And that's why I had to come on the program. Cedric did the same thing. Cedric told you when you asked him, did you steal Katt Williams' joke?
Yeah.
He said, it don't line up. How it don't line up that I did it on TV in 2018? You came to see me at the Comedy Store do it in 2019 and then did it on the Kings of Comedy.
So he is there to tell his truth from his perspective on why he feels these individuals don't deserve what they deserve. He's saying that certain people put him in a position where they know what they did, they know how they did it. He don't know why they did it, but he knows they did it and they know they did it. Ultimately, you guys are the ones to blame. Why did you put me in a position where now I'm looked at as like the bad guy because you guys are a consortium, as he would say in this interview, right? He really wanted to be understood. That's what's going on.
Like, what doesn't line up? This is a televised joke that Mark Curry helped me punch up and get to the level that it was. The same Steve that went to go watch Mark Curry do his whole sitcom and then stole everything Mark Curry had.
So he's basically hitting Cedric and Steve at the same time on some John Wick. Saying, look, both of y'all are thieves of comedy. That's the overall theme on that one right there. You are thieves of comedy. A thieves' den. Does it hold any merit? That's neither here nor there, because I think time will ultimately look back at this interview and let it be understood whether he's telling 100% the truth. But I do believe he is bringing out receipts. He has conviction. There's no way you can pretty much say that he's not telling you the truth to a certain level, right? It definitely comes across like, hey, look, Katt coming with the facts today, man. He is not playing any games. He's coming with the facts. He's coming with straight bombs, right? And I think this is kind of what we expected. When you think of Katt Williams, this is what you expect. He's unhinged. We don't expect politically correct talking points from Katt Williams, right? We expect what we got. And sure enough, we got what we wanted, right? Let's go back.
Now Steve got a sitcom where he the principal and he wear a suit and then he gets this high top fade, making all black men think he got the best lineup in the business.
I did when I was growing up. I thought Steve Harvey had one of the best shape ups with the thick stash, the caterpillar mustache. I said, "Dog, Steve is," and he used to that's not fancy, but it was somebody because that's Jamie Foxx. It was he had a every single sitcom they got their one that they simp over, right? They all simping. That they be like, oh my God, and he's trying to get her. It was the teacher though, you know what I'm talking about. She was a teacher while he was the principal, right? And I was like, yo, it just used to make me think, dang, that's so this and this and this. Now, do I think it's a bad thing that he was the principal? No. I mean, the concept in itself creates a priority over education instead of the streets for black men. Oh, dang, I could be a principal and still get a baddie. Woo! Right? So I'm not going to necessarily be mad at it, but does the standpoint still stand that he was stealing comedy? Was he thieving concepts of ideas when it comes to creation? Yeah, I believe so. Yeah. Which is why I say again, man, this was an expose, which is why it's so riveting and captivating in every turn.
And it's a man unit. Then you ask it, why you not a
I didn't even know they had man units back in the day like that. Wow.
movie star? I didn't want to be a movie star. This the same Negro that hated on Bernie with this same thing. I didn't want to be a movie star. No, you couldn't be a movie star. There are 30,000 new scripts in Hollywood every year. Not one of them asks for a country bumpkin black dude that can't talk good over KB and look like Mr. Potato Head.
He was cooking. He came to saute. He came to cook. So that he came to cook. Like this, cook. He was not playing no games, man. He said what he said and he meant what he said. You understand?
There ain't none. You would have to have range. I played a lot of characters, 60 movie roles. I'm not playing Katt.
60. Put respect on Katt Williams. Let me get the big screen. Put respect on this man's name as he's exposing what his truth is, man. 60, man. That's like somebody talking about, hey, man, you just another YouTuber, man. You just like everybody else. Nigga, do you know what I'm doing right now? Huh? Check my content out, nigga. I'm doing this by myself. Understand me? Grew up in the hood for real. Right? Still got the technical savvy to be able to do what I'm doing. That's why I can. Everybody has their own perspective on how they feel about Katt and what he's saying. Because you can relate to some aspect of the interview with every single element. I understand because I'm doing this by myself. I do this alone. I don't have a team of niggas. And yet I still able to create what you guys see. Right? So I take pride when somebody tell you, oh, you out here doing this. No. Don't ever disrespect me, B.
Williams in there.
I don't know, Katt. We might not let you drink anymore the way you. I mean, we ain't even got.
I'm not fueled by alcohol.
And mind you, y'all, I want y'all to understand something. This was a 3-hour interview. This was the first 17 minutes. This is why I'm really reacting to this portion of the interview. This was the first 17 minutes.
I've had a sip, less than you. The truth don't need motivation. I'm just saying I can't let these dudes lie. Cedric sitting here telling you why he ain't a movie star. He over here look like a walrus. You didn't say nothing. He can't even get his arms off his stomach sitting over here. Why I'm not a movie star.
He was cooking, man. He was out here flaming, bruh.
It's a situation.
He never wrote anything. Remember, when Cedric the Entertainer starts, he's supposed to be singing, dancing, and telling jokes. That's why he's called the Entertainer.
Right.
We found out he can't sing, can't dance, and doesn't write jokes. He did 4 comedy specials. They're so bad, Shannon, they're not available on Netflix or Tubi.
Pay attention, man. Fair use, fair use, fair use. Right? Pay attention to what he's telling you, bro. He's not playing no games. I've never watched the Cedric the Entertainer. And typically, when I did watch Cedric the Entertainer, it was with him being in a group of individuals. It was never him individually by himself. I never really watched him do an hour special. Like, I just watched the Dave Chappelle special. I'm from DC, so it made sense for me to watch it. He did it in DC. I watched it. Plus, Dave Chappelle is great. And he has every special that Dave Chappelle has put out for the last X amount of years, I've watched. All of them were tremendous. Amazing quality, amazing productions across the board. I don't really think of Cedric in the same light as if Dave Chappelle is an A+ comedian, like he's the crescendo, he's up there with Pryor and the like, and Eddie Murphy and the like. I would say you can't put Cedric in that category. You can't put Steve in that category. They are, but they do deserve their own respects in the pathways they took. They are the TV show gods. Like, these dudes. I mean, Cedric got his TV show. Steve Harvey got his TV show, or TV shows with an S, because he has multiple. Right? They're the TV show gods. Right? But I consider them maybe B. They're level B. I would consider Katt Williams an A for his ability. But we're getting to that later. We'll talk about that later.
Can I say that again for the audience? They're so bad that they're not available on Netflix or Tubi.
You don't think Ced's a good comedian?
The world doesn't think that, sir. I have 12 comedy specials. He has 4 specials that are not available on Netflix or Tubi.
And he is like, look, I'm not playing with you, bruh. Did you hear what I said? Did you hear what I said? This is the reality. It doesn't matter how you feel about what I said. This is what the reality is. The reality is he don't have it on. He don't have it. He don't have it. Period.
It seems to me, Katt, that you had a lot to get off your chest.
It's pretty obvious, right? But again, Katt, I think is going to clarify. Like I said, when he talks about these three comedians in particular, he had to smoke for Ricky Smiley, but to me, it was more so about the movie aspects of it. He didn't really care about Ricky Smiley. He felt way more about Cedric and Steve and Kevin, um, and I guess Ricky Smiley too. But the onus is definitely on those first three that I named.
No, no.
You wanted to set the record straight.
Winners are not allowed to allow losers to rewrite history. I don't say any of these things if my name is not breached by these people on your platform.
And see, that's important. On his platform, he's basically letting it be known. Listen, bro, I'm on your platform. I'm on your platform, bro. And people are talking about me on your platform. So it was my just due that I came to your platform, right? And I spoke about these issues, respectfully, of course, on your platform, to you at least. But about those individuals, I have no cut cards for them, period.
If you give a liar a platform to lie, then I'm not being messy by saying, hold on, that never happened, it's untrue, and there are hundreds of witnesses for each thing I'm saying.
So
It's very important that he said that. And that's what how he feels about Cedric and how he feels about Steve. He don't feel like they are stand up, no pun intended, but they're not stand up men, right? They're not stand up individuals, right? Um, and I'm gonna fast forward to Kevin's situation so we can identify Kevin's role in this whole situation.
They think they can rewrite history. Guy Tori did a beautiful special about the Comedy Store and Fat Tuesday, where he said that Steve and Cedric and Kevin Hart and Tiffany Haddish came through there and made all lies.
So he's about to hit. He's about to get Kevin Hart with this now. We're about to definitely hit Kevin Hart on, and we're gonna really. I really want to talk about this part as well.
Steve and Cedric never performed at the Comedy Store at all. Tiffany was only seen at the Laugh Factory. In 15 years in Hollywood, no one in Hollywood has a memory of going to a sold-out Kevin Hart show, there being a line for him ever getting a standing ovation at any comedy club. He already had his deals when he got here.
Think about that. He's basically saying certain things about Kevin. He's saying, which I'm not gonna lie, Kevin Hart to me is funny. I'm gonna be 1,000 with you. I believe Kevin Hart is funny. He had one of the craziest jokes when I was growing up back in high school. And the things he used to say, I used to be like, bro, this dude is, he was hilarious. But I remember, I was like, he reminds me a lot of Katt Williams, though. It's basically like they took everything that Katt was and commercialized it. Like, oh, we're just gonna reduce the what you see here, and we're gonna make it so it's more white collar, so to speak. It's more palatable. It's more everybody can get a taste buds for it, so to speak. And that's what it felt like. But he was still funny though. Kevin Hart, you can't say Kevin, especially his earlier days. Everybody remember a 40-year-old version with these are classics, man. He was hilarious, amazing job in those movies. So I'm not going to take anything away from him, but I will say, all right.
Have we heard of a comedian that came to LA and in his first year in LA, he had his own sitcom on network television?
Y'all don't remember this, but this is important what he just said right there. To have a sitcom on network television. This is not like what you're seeing today in the modern day, where the reason Katt is even able to voice his opinion like this is because, again, we have multiple different platforms that allow him to get his voice and opinion out without it being chopped up, you know, in different type of ways and formats. So he's able to really tell you what he really feel and how he really feels about it, right? So for Kevin to have his first year to have that type of level in network television, that's basically Comedy Central, stuff like that. Like, bro, whoa. Remember, this is back in the day where we only had 60 channels. Comcast and Verizon had a foothold with them boxes, them cable boxes. Remember that? So he was doing that back then, which was like kind of odd, because that's why I was like, it's very difficult now. Like nowadays, you can be a social media comedian, Desi Banks, the litany of them. I can't even think of my man's name right now, but y'all know who I'm talking about. All of them. You could be just hilarious, all of them. You could be one of those and get Max Strife. I don't even know if this is his name 100%, but you know what I'm talking about right now. I got a lot of people my name in my head. All of them though, social media comedians that get their breakthrough through being able to showcase their talent on their platforms and not having to go the traditional route and being able to still get a career.
And had his own movie called Soul Plane that he was leading. No.
He did that all in 1 year, Soul Plane. And he was the lead actor in Soul Plane. Soul Plane is basically, I don't know if it's necessarily Friday, because I don't think anything will be a Black Hood classic like Friday. But Soul Plane was definitely, if like I said again, if Soul Plane, if Friday's an A+, Soul Plane is probably B+. It's up there. And he got that immediately in a year over all the other people that could have been.
We've never heard of that before that.
And that's really what he really talking about. You getting that over him and him and him and you just came. How you getting this? This is equivalent. I like using sports. It's equivalent of you just getting to the team and you getting 25 shots a game. Huh?
Person or since that person. What do you think a plant is? Maybe people don't understand the definitions of these words.
He was going scorched earth on Kevin, and I really want to hit, because that's really the biggest beef right there as far as who can punch up the punches. It's like basically like LeBron, KD. LeBron can have a beef with DeRozan. Beyonce can have beef with not Kelly Clarkson. What's her name? I can't even. Carrie Hilson, right? How about Kelly Clarkson? You can have beef with Carrie Hilson, but you don't see Carrie Hilson and Beyonce in the same breath, right? So when you start seeing Beyonce having beef with a Taylor Swift or an Alicia Keys or what's her name? It's so many different, a person of her ilk, a Mariah Carey, when she start having beef with that type of individual, that status wise, it's basically around the same, cachet as her, you start saying, okay, ooh, what's going on? And that's what this Kevin and Katt beef is like. It's like, this is LeBron and KD. What's going on? All right. Now, personally, I'm a LeBron, and I would put, if I had to decide, I would put Katt Williams according to the LeBron pendulum, right? But I respect KD deeply, elite, and he from where I'm from, so I respect KD at the utmost. So I'm not even going to put that aspersion on him. But the point is, when we come back and we look at who is and what this really stands down to, this is going to be the finishing, it's going to be a pretty long video, but it is what it is. I got this out for my guys who watch it. You know what I'm saying? The very last person on this list, man, is his beef. And y'all know who it is. Him and Kevin. The difference between two goats. Right? And the beef that these two individuals have against each other, it's incredible. But the conversation that it brings, and it makes you want to talk about, has you understanding like, is this what it is? Is this what they doing behind the scenes? Is this what's taking place? This is interesting, right? And like I said, these are things that I like to talk about overall. I think this is a good conversation to have. The mentality of why one person is perceived like this and the other one is perceived like that, and the lessons you can take from why each individual is perceived a certain way. Because like I said, Kevin Hart, he's perceived a certain way because of how he move. Just like Katt Williams is perceived a certain way because of how he moved. I really would love to see if Kevin Hart could respond to this, um, going on a platform like a Shannon Sharpe and having that dialogue and seeing how many views it would, how much attention it would garner. Will his response garner another 10 million? Mm, I don't know. He definitely would get over a couple mil easily. It's Kevin Hart. We're not going to sugarcoat or play around like he ain't Kevin Hart. You know what I'm saying? But I believe the conversation would be different because unless Kevin Hart is coming in there to really speak, but he got sponsors, etc. He don't want to put that at risk. That's what I'm saying. You look at both of these dudes differently, but let's look at from that standpoint that I just talked about. Let's look at let's look at that dynamic, and we're going to give our commentary on that.
Yeah, it was.
So how simultaneously was he here in Los Angeles doing the same thing? It didn't happen. It didn't happen. And I hate to seem like a petty individual for picking apart lies, but Jussie Smollett gonna keep lying until you say we don't believe you. Like, it's important in the checks and balances of the universe that liars not get to make complete narratives for themselves.
Are you not afraid about being blackballed again? These are some power people.
What do you mean again?
And see, this is tough. This is tough. Fair use, fair use, fair use.
These people are not powerful. Satan can't create anything. That includes blessings for his people. That's why, do you know what the number one job of somebody that sold their soul in Hollywood is?
What?
Is to act like it didn't happen.
And he is directly attacking Kevin on this. Directly.
They all do the same job. Why do you think Gary Owen can't cross over and he already white and been in comedy for 25 years? If what I say ain't the case. It's a cabal. It's a.
See, when he starts saying stuff like this, he talking spicy. Because if y'all know what that word means, cabal means, look it up. Look it up. He's not playing with these guys, man. Look it up. All right?
Consortium. They rock with who they rock with, and they don't with who they don't. But I'm not scared of being the competition any more than you were when you lined up across from a superior team. Yeah, on paper, they're a better team.
Right.
They have all the assets and resources, and we don't. But let us get on the line, boy, and see if that factors in. I guarantee you it won't.
Wow.
He's not playing. He is not playing. Shannon is, wow. Shannon, like, am I going to get anybody am I going to get it? But this is competitiveness. But I'm going to talk about that at the end of the video as well.
Because Shannon Sharpe got to be a different person than that other person.
Absolutely.
And he always was. That doesn't change when I change teams. That remains the same. That's how a legacy is built. So all of these shortcut takers, they canceled me for talking about Harvey Weinstein before the thing came out, but he offered to suck my penis in front of all my people at my agency.
And I'm going to leave it off. I'm going to leave it off here before I get into the Kevin scene. Because I believe, like I said, just imagine that was the first 17, 25 minutes. This is a 3-hour episode. That's what I'm saying. When you really start getting into it, this was a packed full of information. So many different things to break down and understand, etc. But in particular, as he's talking about Kevin, he's basically telling you Kevin sold out. And he's not going to tell you because it's against the rule book, right? And I know certain things that I'm not even going to go into on my channel like that because I'm not trying to get demonetized for something that's you can just look up easily, right? Or if I ever was to ever talk about those things and break those things down in a considerable fashion, it would be through a paywall. And that paywall would probably be like a Patreon or something like that. Because I don't ask for donations, things of that nature, but I would need to get some type of compensation and it wouldn't, and that, to basically filter out people who serious about understanding stuff. Like I said, to me, to even get that information, you would have to do it behind a certain level of paywall, etc. But I definitely believe those two individuals, as you can see, though, between what this interview was all about. That's why I called it the interview. Right? He's the epic 10 million views in a day, which made it give the buzz. The Hollywood gatekeeping, and then the difference between him and Kevin, which are, I believe, respective goats. If you're talking about just the art form itself. Now, can we say why there's certain people in position, etc., etc., etc.? That's a rabbit hole. But again, if you understand what's going on, then you understand what's going on, right? Some people are gonna say conspiracy, etc., which is why we're not gonna get into alleged, activities right now, right? But ultimately, between the two, I definitely believe there's a situation that can be breached, and certain things can be talked about. But with that being said, man, I thank you if you came and watched this content with me, as we talked about the topics and the things that we can learn from just being respectful, knowing how to move, putting in hard work, knowing what it means to do such things, and just trusting the process. Look, I'm doing what I do. I'm trusting the process. If you got to this point in the video, which I don't know if it will be possible for most people because this is a long video, but if you did, I'm trusting the process like I always do with everything I've done, which is how I'm able to create content the way I create content today by myself alone, right? I appreciate everybody who got to this point, though, like I said, spending some time with me as we went down a litany of different topics, issues, while we're talking about what we were talking about in this one. I got more interesting concepts and talking videos like this on the way, in the works. And I thank you for, spending the time. Ultimately, man, woman, or child, continue doing what you need to do in your journey, taking steps to be great along the way. Never skip the process, because ultimately the process is what builds character. Like I said, you see me, I create all this stuff for myself, man, and it puts a lot of energy and work to create this, but it built me in such a way that, across the board, your boy blessed, right? And I think it's a very important theme to take away from what Katt Williams was saying was, hey man, listen, don't take away the hard work. The hard work is part of the joy, because you understand hard work does pay off in some way, shape, or form. It builds character. It builds an individual spirit. It builds an individual personality, every aspect of you as a human being, especially a child of God. It builds you up. Ultimately, though, man, I appreciate you, man. Y'all know what to do, man. Hit that like button, subscribe, all that jazz, right? But I'm gonna end it off with this, man. Stay focused, do what you need to take care of, man. And I'm gonna catch you on the next one. Peace.